right, YouTube. Let's see here. I think it's sharing screen. Let me going live with this program confuses me. So let me see if I can find the camera. I guess I should have set this up before. There we go. All right, got the camera on now. Let me see if I'm actually broadcasting here on YouTube right now. Let's see. It's not broadcasting yet, I don't think. How do I do that? View channel. Ah, yeah, I am live. All right, cool. Okay, let me go. There we go. All right, so I've tried to play that video from the other day many, many times, and it's not worked. So I'm just going to go live and play it from here. So let me see how I do this. All right. Hopefully this works this time. I have audio on my end. I don't know why it never has audio on the other end. All right, YouTube Repo Man 64. I was just on Aaron's program. It's a lot of fun. We some really crazy stuff going on right now. Israel, as you know, yesterday sent how do you call it? A text to a beeper. They beeped them. And the code that they received was a code to blow up their beepers. And today they did PTT talk. It's push to talk radios. They did those today. Like, wow, America must be like, that was ingenious. Not one bomb sent over, nothing sent over. So today I'm at work and I have this little handheld computer that the job supplies me with so that I can scan stuff and everything. And it started acting funny and it started doing a little circle thing. So I'm not gonna lie, I set that thing off to the side for a minute, just in case. But hold on a second, I gotta turn on the fan. So I'm sitting here, a little bit concerned myself. But then, I have excuse me, I have faith in Israel. I don't want to say faith because I only have faith in Jesus, but I have what's a big David the Watchman word I can use right here instead of the word faith? Something that'll make me seem very intelligent because of the size of the word. I'll just use the word confidence. I have confidence in Israel that they wouldn't make a mistake like that, but I still set that thing off to the side. David, stop yelling at your phone. I know you have a better word than confidence. I know that you have this huge, elaborate word that I can't think of right now because I'm not that, vocal. I don't know all the big words, but everybody can hear you yelling at your phone right now. Stop. So, anyway, now I've been going around all day at my job talking about, wow, that technology that they used was incredible, absolutely incredible that they did that. And it's kind of like I'm gonna get into trouble with this. I was proud of them. I don't know how else to say it. I was really proud of them for what they did. I mean, that was insanely intelligent right there. That was crazy. I can't even. I net nobody would have ever fathomed such a thing. And to set that up, like they had to set that up a long time ago. You know what I mean? To set that up so that it would they could do that today, to have that all, that battery pack to be able to make it do that. They had to get to those battery packs to set that up, took place a while ago, and then to keep it quiet all this time, nobody even knew. Like Biden sitting in his office going, "Why didn't I think of that?" They didn't spend like any money whatsoever on bombs or anything. They didn't put anybody in any of their own troops in jeopardy. You know, so all they have to do, Iran, all you have to do is release the hostages that you currently have and give up that top commander who brainstormed this entire event to go in. And your God must be proud to go in and take a bunch of children at a concert. I know I'm going to get into trouble. Some people are going to be mad at me for saying that, but I was really proud of what they did today. I'm sorry if some innocent people got hurt, but all of the people that they went after, they didn't go after the military because the Israeli military, they wouldn't dream of going after them. They had to go after a bunch of children because the Israeli government or their military it just outmans them and outguns them in every sense of the word. So anyway, I'm my spirits are high today. And not to mention that pushes us just one day closer to the rapture, which is literally about to happen. I was outside today at work. I had to go outside and do something, and literally these raindrops, they had to be quarter size. They were huge. They had to be like half the size of a golf ball falling down, and one thumped me in the head, and they were so sparingly. I mean, they were coming down, but one there, one there. It wasn't like rain. It was weird. And they got on the radio and they're like, "Is it? What is that? Is it?" Because that's how big it was. It was hitting the top of the building, and they were like, "Is it raining outside?" And I was like, "I don't know what this is." I thought it was birds at first. It was so big, and then I was like, "Yeah, it's raining. Hold on, it stopped. Hold on, it's raining again. Hold on, it stopped." It was like it came, it went. It came and it went. It was the weirdest rain I've ever seen. So I think that all over the planet, I missed him. I think that all over the planet, we're seeing weird anomalies. Like I've never seen that in my whole life. I've never seen a raindrop that's that big. It was huge. So anyway, let me get into the pictures and see what we see. All right, so Brett over at God's Land Down Under made a comment which blew my mind. And I think this is me responding to him. Now, remember, I do start the year on March 17th. March 17th is the first day after the Day of Equal Parts, which is March 16th. And like I said on Aaron's program that I was just on, I'm not dogmatic about it because what if I'm wrong, or what if God decides to use another calendar? But then Brett made this comment, and I was mind blown by the comment. It was incredible. And so in Exodus 12, God said, "This now is ahead of your year." He moved it back from September the 15th to March the 17th, in essence. Moved it back 182 days. And then, of course, the following day is the first day, 183rd day. I can show that to you. Now, it stands to reason that whatever we're living now, or whatever date we're on now, we could look back 6 months and it would match to something. So I've been watching these channels come up with this October 2nd, October 3rd for what they call um, Tishri 1, what they call Feast of Trumpets. And I'm like, that no, Feast of Trumpets passed on September the 15th. But then when I made that comment on Aaron's thing, could be used in any kind of what if they all line up? What if they all have a meaning on an exact day, like October the 2nd or 3rd? I don't want to wait that long. honestly, I don't see us waiting or going past September the 24th, the 7 year of the Revelation 12 sign. But then again, 7 days after that is October 2nd, October 3rd, right? So, I mean, it's right in the window there. It always is. Like, here's the next day, here's the next day, here's the next day. But what do? We just keep looking, hoping, and we keep investigating as we go forward. But he makes that comment, and I was like, because I don't remember what I said to make him make his comment and to make me make my comment. But October, I mean, yeah, October the 2nd, 3rd is a mirror to 6 months earlier. Guess what? And I've been questioning for the longest time, where are they coming up with the Tishri 1 Feast of Trumpets being on October the 2nd, 3rd? What does that mean? Because it always, to me, should mean something somewhere, and it does. Jesus went to the cross on March 30th. Jesus rose on April 2nd, 3rd. He completed it on April the 2nd, but we know in the Bible that he rose on the first day of the week, on Sunday. He rose in the morning. So guess what October 2nd, 3rd is? That they're calling Feast of Trumpets. Now, there are several channels that say Jesus can only come back on the Feast of Trumpets. And again, for me, that passed. But isn't it coincidental that Jesus goes to the cross on March 30th? He rises on April 2nd and April 3rd. And it's a mirror to October 2nd, October 3rd. And I was like mind blown by that. Remember when Jesus rose, it says, and it's worded in a way to where it's a bit confusing, but the bodies of the saints actually rose up and went into the city after Jesus rose. And I believe Jesus rose at 3 a.m. I think he went to the cross at 3 p.m. The time, the 72 hours, began to count at nightfall on that Wednesday, which became Thursday. And you count Thursday night, Friday, or yeah, Thursday, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, then you count Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday morning he rose. So we definitely know he died 3 hours before he went into that tomb. And we definitely know he couldn't rise until it was the first day of the week. So at the very minimum, we would see 75 hours. For me, he didn't, you know, rise at 6 p.m. He rose at 3 a.m. And that gave the time for the bodies of the saints to rise. Now they rise, right? They rise. Is that a good indicator, signifier to us that when the bodies of the saints rise after Jesus rose uh, on April the 2nd, mirroring October the 2nd, wouldn't that be amazing if that were actually the day? And the Jews think that it's the Feast of Trumpets. That would drive them to jealousy. So God would fulfill his actual calendar. Yes, I think I have the actual calendar. But he would also fulfill the Jews being driven to jealousy because they believe that they are going to see their Messiah uh, come back on the Feast of Trumpets. So that, all that being said, let's go in to take a look at this. And this is my response to whatever it was he said, which I don't recall now, but it was good. I said, oh, that's good. Now October 2nd, 3rd makes sense. It didn't make sense to me before until he said this comment because I didn't associate the 6 month, of Exodus 12 to this. September 30th, Jesus' birthday. Did you know that Jesus was born on September 30th? Did you know Jesus went to the cross on March 30th? Did you know they were exactly 6 months apart? March 30th is the cross. Jesus rises on April 2nd, 3rd. Exodus 12, move back 6 months. April 2nd, 3rd is October 2nd, 3rd. And then I said, I got to send this to Spine Breaker. Symmetry. I love it. I love symmetry because I believe God is very symmetrical and very calculating in everything that he does. So we all know about this, right? We know we're getting a new moon, and everybody's talking about this. All those people that had dreams of two moons that other people discounted like they didn't know what they were talking about. Guess what? On November the 29th, yeah, Jesus was born at nightfall on the 29th, coming into September the 30th. After nightfall, it became September the 30th. To us, it would be September the 29th. That's the day Jesus was born. Isn't it amazing how and I haven't had a two moon dream, but these people have had all these two moon dreams. And here on Jesus's birthday, we have a second moon coming in. And have you ever seen, like I said to Bob Barber when I was on Departure Heaven, I think it was last night, like I said, have you ever heard of an asteroid coming into our galaxy or going around our sun or around our Earth in slow motion? 53 days it's going to take this rock to go around our planet before it exits our solar system. When do they ever circle the Earth? They only circle the sun. When do they ever come in slow enough? It's just one turn. It's not that it's going to spin around Earth for 53 days and then take off. No, it comes in. It takes 53 days to go around Earth and then it leaves. And it leaves on November the 25th. November the 25th, 53 days later. I have to do the 6 months on November the 25th to see where that lands. See if there's any significance in November the 25th going back 6 months. I'm not sure. Now, the timeline. I've been adding to it quite a bit. We know that on November the 29th in 1947, the United Nations voted to make an Israel state. I also believe this is when Jacob flees from Esau. He was 77 when he fled from Esau. 77 years plus 1947 is 2024. And then I just continued to do math. I did some wrong math here. The distance between when they said Israel would become a Jewish state was 5 months and 15 days from when they actually became a Jewish state on May 14th of 1948. Now, we come down here, and Israel will be 70 years old, or was 70 years old on May 14th of 2028. 6 months and 16 days later, November the 29th, 2028, the earth rang like a bell. That blew my mind that lands 6 months and 16 days after Israel is 70, and this is 5 months and 15 days before Israel is a nation. That's exactly 1 year. That's exactly to the day 1 year, totaling 71 years. Exactly. I was just like floored by that. Everything in red was me realizing I'd made a mistake. It was 50 years and 6 months from the 1967 Six-Day War to December 6th of 2017 when Trump made Israel the capital. Exactly. Now, 6 months earlier would have been, would that be June 6th? June 6th, if I remember correctly, is the June 6th. Let me go to the timeline before I speak out of turn. Somebody out there's got the timeline, and I don't want to misspeak. June 5th at nightfall, June 6th, is the first Pentecost. This is when Moses goes up into the clouds on Sivan 21, June 5th. So you see how, and what's amazing is most of this timeline is blank. It's all white everywhere. There's dates on here, quite a few, but everything else is blank. It's all white. What are the odds that when I do a calculation, it lands on one of these events right here? What are the odds? Where are we at right now? Right now, this is September the 18th. This is where I have to make up for that extra day. I don't know where to make up that extra day, so I did it right here on September 18th, 19th. Ecra Symphony might be correct in that it is November 10th, the 11th, right here, where Noah exits the ark. I could literally turn that into November 10th, the 11th instead of this. But if I did, then I don't have Jesus being born on September. I guess I do because at nightfall on the 29th. And then what catches me is Jesus was named and circumcised on October the 7th. This is the day that they invaded Israel. You can see on the timeline how the world events are beginning to fall right into place, right absolutely into place. So I made this new timeline to show all of these current events. Now, this timeline is going to run out of real estate here around uh, November 25th when the two moons leave. I don't think that we're going to be here. I think that on September the 24th, on the Day of Atonement, we're going to see something spectacular. And if you count inclusive, you would get 7 days to the day Jesus was born on September the 30th. And remember, September the 29th and its nightfall would be September 30th in Israel, when that second moon comes in, and that's Jesus' birthday. He was born exactly 280 days after Mary conceived on Christmas Day, December the 25th. Now, um, we go forward. And oh, here at the bottom is what I added because of Brett's comment, which floored me. October the 2nd, 3rd. They say it's Feast of Trumpets, but it's actually a mirror to Jesus' resurrection. You can find this in Matthew 27, 52, and 53, that many of the bodies of the saints rose after Jesus resurrected. The mirror to that date, just like it says in Exodus 12, this now is ahead of your year. He moved it back exactly 182 days. So the mirror to that event happening on April 2nd and 3rd, to where those bodies came up out of the grave, this is the mirror. This is it right here. So when they say Feast of Trumpets, we say the dead in Christ rise first, and those of us who are alive and remain will be caught up. It's a very high watch day for me. Starting back here on September the 24th, the Day of Atonement, and then September the 30th, the birthday of Jesus, when that second moon comes in, is a very high watch day. And then on into October the 2nd and the 3rd, what they call Feast of Trumpets, which is actually the resurrection, 6 months off for Jesus. For me, by November the 11th or 11/11 is when the Antichrist is revealed. And then I don't have it on here, but for me, the tribulation begins, God's judgment begins on October the 31st, the same date as the flood occurred, and the same date that Adam sinned in the garden, 7 years and 47 days, or the second month and 17th day after God created him. So, a lot of high watch days coming up, September 24th, September 30th, October 2nd, 3rd, October the 31st, and I think we have to be out of here, honestly. We have to leave before the date that Noah leaves the ark, before the date that I think that the Antichrist is being revealed on that 11/11. Every time we see 11/11, it's a super important thing. Otherwise, we'd be seeing something else on our clock, but we don't. We see 11/11 nonstop. We have for several years now, and then, of course, 14 days later, the new moon leaves. The second moon leaves. Sorry about that. What else do I have up here? Oh, Satan enters the temple and breaks the covenant. We have those dates. It's very clear that the Jews believe that they're going to meet their Messiah on the Day of Atonement. And then when you count to the end of Israel, which happens on May 14th of 2028, you count back 3.5 years, you land on November the 11th. And if you go forward 3.5 years, this is the end of Israel. This is their 80 years. They can't go past this. This is where they have to leave, and Israel is over. They go into Petra, where God will care for them. And we read that in Psalms 90:10. That's May 14th, 2028. And then 3.5 years later, the millennial reign begins, and we see that November the 11th again. That November 11th, the day the earth rang like a bell, that happened. Where do I have it at? Earth rang like a bell. That happened on November the 29th. So it's all happening. It's all coming together as we can see these things happening, and it happened exactly um, 71 years after Jacob leaves Esau out of fear of dying at the hands of his brother because his brother sold his birthright, and Jacob's mother, Rebecca, just enforced it. That's all. And that happened, I believe, on November the 29th. So 71 years, and the earth rang like a bell. I think it was a call to wake up, you know, a call to wake up. So I saw this meme. I kind of scratched out the other items. It's not specifically talking about beepers, but I thought it was cool. Now we're just somebody that you used to know. Spinebreaker was working on this. Sanguine, sangria, sangre in Spanish. It means, I think in Italian it's sangria. It means blood. And on 9/15, which just passed, the Feast of Trumpets, the actual Feast of Trumpets, I'll just say sangria. Sangria is crossing over the line right there in Virgo on the Feast of Trumpets. And again, I know it's past, but they are reviewing a Feast of Trumpets coming up here. And the calendars used to be off, I forget, by 21 days at the beginning of the year. Now I think they're off by 18 days because they view that moon. They've been doing it since King Antiochus forced them to. By the time we get to wait, what year is that? Yeah, that's 2024. By the time we get to 9/24, which is the date of the Revelation 12 sign, Venus just leaves Virgo. It comes outside the borderline of Virgo there. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then in 2017, apparently Spinebreaker says that this sangre sanguine. It's hard when you speak several languages or portions of. I speak portions of Italian, Tagalog. I speak fluent Spanish, so it's really hard to say this in I'm imagining this is Greek or Hebrew. So sanguine is leaving Virgo or in Virgo every 7 years. Did you know that? Spybreaker found this. That asteroid is in Virgo every 7 years. Every single Shemitah cycle that is in Virgo, and it goes in and out of Virgo about the same time every year. You can see the moon is under her feet. Yes, this is the Revelation 12 sign, but sanguine is there. And so I find it very interesting that this appears every 7 years, and it just appeared in 2024 again. Every 7 years, it's there. Huh. All right, so I I can't remember who I was listening to. I think it was Bob Barber that made this comment that said, the red heifers are I think they're too old now, But then Bob says we don't hear about anything about them anymore. And I said that's because they sacrificed them on the day Jesus went to the cross on March 30th. That's the day Jesus went to the cross. 3 days later, he rose on April 2nd, 3rd. Shabbat Parah for the Hebrew year of 5784 began on Friday the 29th, March 2024, Friday at nightfall, and ended on Saturday at nightfall on March 30th. Jesus, at nightfall on the 29th of March, enjoyed the Last Supper, which made it the 30th. He then became the sacrificial lamb before sunset. So within that 24-hour period, the day begins at nightfall. If it didn't begin at nightfall, Jesus could not have had the Last Supper and still been the Passover lamb on the same day. It begins at nightfall and it ends at nightfall on the 30th. And I have a feeling that they did, in fact, sacrifice these guys, man. They listen to me. Listen to me. They could have never done this without everybody knowing about it. Really? They just blew up a bunch of beepers that they set this up and kept quiet for however long ago that they did this, a year ago, 2 years ago. Maybe they might have said, you know what, October 7th happened? Watch this. And they might have done it then. For almost an entire year, they held that secret. They already sacrificed those red heifers, and they did it on March 30th. They have the ashes ready to go, and they aren't going to stop until they stop everybody from coming up against them. I had, like, I don't know what a vision is or a dream, but I'm in heaven, and all of these babies are laying on a cloud. Now they don't need food because they're in heaven, but they're being kind of, from what I understood, from what I saw, every single baby that ever was that died before, while it was a baby, was there. There was an ocean of them, and they were in these little cradles, not like that, but like a cloud, a cradle made out of a cloud. They were laying in these things, and I looked, and I don't know. I know that crying babies upset most people. It really annoys them. They're always trying to make them stop. I like babies that are crying. It really, it just melts my heart. You know, I was in the store today and a woman was walking around with her baby of 7 weeks old and he was crying and she was trying to stop him. I'm like, let him cry. Yo, it's going to bother everybody. Let him cry because I kind of like the sound of babies crying. So I'm hearing all these, and they're not crying, but they're cooing and making all the sounds babies do, and they're all happy. You know, I was just like, wow, that's quite an image, quite something to there to see, and they're going to grow up there. So anyway, I saw that, thought that was cool. I don't know what an open vision is or anything. I was kind of waking up or going to sleep. I don't even remember now. I just remember seeing it. Oh yeah, about the calendar. I would never dream of coming on here, like I said on Aaron's program, and tell you that you're all wrong and I'm right. I would never do that. I would, that would just never happen. I would just never ever tell you you're all wrong. I saw that and I was like, whoa, I gotta have that. Let's see. Why did I already knew about this. Let's see. Earth will soon have two moons for, it says a few weeks. We know it's 53 days. A little bit longer than that. I wanted to show you what happened in Matthew 20. This is Matthew 27, 52 and 53. And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose and came out of the graves after his resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. And it clearly says, after his resurrection, they went to the holy city. I know it kind of appears that the graves were open and they kind of just laid in the grave for 3 or 4 days, but I believe somebody would have noticed that. We don't have any record of anybody ever noticing anything like that. And came out of the graves after his resurrection. So, yes, Carol Vey had a really good program. I love the way she's very eloquently spoken and very highly intelligent, and very she has a good memory on her, so she really does a good job in her videos. And their report, Canadian Prepper down below here is reporting that more lithium batteries are. So can you imagine being in a Tesla? How many Teslas are over there right now? Never mind. I don't even want to get into that. All right. So yeah, she did a very good job, and she says she's looking at the Feast of Trumpets. And a lot of people are saying it has to be Feast of Trumpets. Again, I don't think it's Rosh Hashanah. The Jews are still going to call it Rosh Hashanah because they did not obey even the very first law that God handed down to Moses. The very first one. This now is ahead of your year. They disobeyed that one, but she's rightly saying Feast of Trumpets. I think it's already passed on September the 15th, but they're looking at the time when Jesus rose, which I thought was amazing. Mark Allison, did you see this? He had this video on earlier today. I watched it. The UN General Assembly voted in favor of a resolution requiring Israel to withdraw from Judea and Samaria territories and impose sanctions on Israel officials along with a weapons embargo. Look at that. And look at the votes in favor of that, 124. Against it, 14. There's at least 14 countries that God will bless. The 124 countries, not so much. And then people that abstained, abstination from voting was 43. What is that, 167? 167 that did not vote in favor of Israel. I wonder if that number means anything. Anyway, and there's Canadian Prepper down below again. He's all over the place with that. Oh man. As promised, Aaron, I'm going to post this in your Discord. This is the recipe for ceviche. Take a picture of this or screenshot this. This is a picture of the best ceviche on the planet. Yes, I make it. I make the best ceviche on the planet. And there you have it. This is what it looks like when you're done. It's amazing. And he asked in his live that he was doing that he invited me into, what foods do you want to see in heaven? And that food right there will be in front of me. That right there is amazing. It's ceviche. That's a different batch that I had made prior to this. But man, oh, that just looks so good. That just looks so good. You're actually cooking the fish. You don't cook the fish. It's cod. Do I have cod on here? I hope I have. Yeah, cod. 4 pounds of cod. I tried flounder one year. It didn't taste right, so I got cod. And I put cod in there, and what happens, you fill this bowl up so full with lemons. You get by lemons and you squeeze them and you put the lemon juice in there. You want fresh lemons. You don't want to buy that stuff that they have with all the preservatives in it. You just want lemons. Put it in there, and then you take your 4 pounds of fish and put it in there and just let it sit for an hour. And the lemon juice will actually cook the fish. You're not eating raw fish, but you have not cooked this fish on a fire. So it's absolutely amazing. And then you put in the bowls there behind, you put lettuce leaves, and then you put the ceviche in there, you put the sweet potatoes in there, and then you put a couple pieces of corn in there, and you just sit back and it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, so I'll post that in your Discord there, Aaron, in a moment, so you can have the recipe. I've never shared that recipe, by the way. I've never shared it all these years. I learned it from in Miami from a Cuban guy who was married to a Peruvian, and they were our friends, and we went over there, and I watched him make this stuff, and then I enhanced it. I made it better. And then but it's an amazing food. Yeah, it has to be there. It has to. There'll be a big old plate of ceviche sitting there, and if when God makes it, it's gonna be better than mine, right? It's gonna be even better when Jesus makes the ceviche. So all right, Repo Man 64, like, comment, share, and subscribe. You don't really have to look that hard anymore. Rapture's coming. We see it coming. We see all these things coming. I was pretty excited today when I saw what yesterday and today what Israel did. I was like, okay. We all thought we were going to figure this out, but in the end, Amos 3:7, God is going to tell us, you know? So I wish I could be more affirmative on a date. I can't, not until God tells us in Amos 3:7, and it's going to be so abundantly clear, just like what we're seeing now. We're like, even a year ago when we saw them getting invaded, we're like, oh, this is it. And then nothing. And here we are a year later, and now we're seeing some serious stuff go on. So I have, like I said, Iran, some advice for you. Release those hostages in good shape and turn over Sinwar. Turn him over and end this whole thing. If you don't, this is on you. Everything that happens is your fault. They are not going to negotiate with terrorists. So you might want to think about that because they're not going to stop. They are not going to stop. Obviously, they have some technology that would put the United States to shame. That was something else. So, like I said, Netanyahu, go get them. I mean, if I were in charge, if you wouldn't want me as president, I'd be like, I don't know, give back the hostages then. You know, Sinwar, give yourself up, protect all your people that you're supposed to love, all your people, and then, you know, give yourself up, and this will all be over with. That ain't never going to happen. So who's it on? Is it on Israel? That ain't on Israel. You don't negotiate with terrorists. So, all right, YouTube, we're right around the corner. Go to a quiet place by yourself. Nobody needs to know, and you don't need to tell anybody. And accept the Lord in your heart. You'll find that in Matthew 6:5 and 6. God says, "Go pray in the closet. go in front of a group of people so they can all pat you on the back and say, "Oh, you just accepted the Lord. I'm so proud of you. This is awesome." And then let's go have a steak dinner. And that's not what it's about. It's really an outpouring of your heart to your Creator who created you, who wants you to come back to Him desperately. He wants you to come back to Him. Why do you think He's waited for the past 2,000 years? He's waiting for every single one of us to come in, and He really wants you to come back, but he's not going to force you. He's not going to force you to do it. You have to make this clear conscious decision on your own. You've got to want to do this. If you're going to hell, it's because you made a clear, conscious, definitive decision that that's where you want to go. You really, and most will. There's a lot of people that will, and it just baffles my mind. And when you get there, you'll be laughing at Satan. He ain't going to have any power there. You're going to be laughing at him going, this guy, this pathetic looking, he's going to look like Frodo. This pathetic looking at the ring. What does he say? Is he looking for a ring or something? He's going to look like Frodo. He's going to be nothing. That guy, that's the guy you followed. That's the guy you worshiped. That's the guy that you decided that was more powerful than God himself. That guy fooled you and you're in hell. Come on. Go to a quiet place, please, and just talk to God. He's there for you. He's waiting for you. Just go in there, please, and do this and save your eternal soul for all eternity from the lake of fire. All right. We'll chat with you again later. All right. Finally got that uploaded. That's the fifth try. I had to do it live. The audio's there, you can see, but for some reason it doesn't transfer over when I'm uploading recording. I physically had to play it on here. So I've got to get to work. Thank you everybody for joining in the live chat and keep looking up this. Things are ramping up. Amos 3:7 will be fulfilled by God himself. We're all going to continue to try to, give our best guess. And that's all they are. It's best guesses because not a single one of us know yet. Uh, I But we will know because Amos 3:7 and Revelation 3:3 make that clear promise. So I don't know. It could just be that we're all watching, and then when that horn blows, we'll know exactly what it is. That's the last second, right? It could be that California, that earthquake happens, and this the waves and the seas roaring, like it says in Luke, and then we'll know, a period of time after that. It could be Damascus. You see what Israel just did. They're done being. Israel was never afraid of these people. They outgun, outman, and outcharacter those people by a landslide. But the fact that they held themselves back for the world, that little sliver of land that everybody just has to have, I say we take more for them and enlarge their area, like the Bible says. In the Bible, the area is much bigger. So I say we leave them alone, let them do their job, let them protect their people like America's supposed to do, like Australia's supposed to do. We're supposed to protect New Zealand. Got you in there. We're supposed to protect our people and from anybody who will come in and do harm. So any moment now, like I said, what could be Damascus. If it's Damascus for me, that's 84 hours after Damascus. That's when we would go. So who knows what it's going to be? Um, we have several examples. We know that Noah waited 7 days. He knew it was coming for 120 years, but he got straight confirmation 7 days before. We know that Lot was warned the night before, and then they left, and his wife turned around. She's the salt of the earth. She's a tribulation saint. She was still in love with the world. That's why she stayed, and he went on. So, we have all these wonderful examples the Bible gives us. So I would just say keep watching and keep doing your math. Keep trying to figure it out, and we'll see what happens. So, but I got to get off here. I got to get to work. We will chat with you all again later, maybe in heaven. I don't know when this event is going to take place, but we can see you can't. This train's not slowing down. It's going full steam, and there's no track ahead. So it's about to happen. Just keep watching. See y'all later.